Hey, do you find it intimidating or just overall overwhelming on how to read a sewing pattern envelope? Like, it's trying to tell you something and you want to buy one, but you just can't connect the dots to help you purchase with confidence? Well, you definitely want to check this video out because I'm going over step by step, line by line on how to read a pattern envelope so you can make your decision and your purchase with confidence. Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we are continuing the series on how to navigate sewing patterns and how to operate them with confidence. Okay, so today we are specifically covering how to read the outside of a pattern envelope. We're continuing our series on patterns and just how to navigate them with confidence so we can sew with confidence. Patterns are one of the beginning steps in a sewing project. After you go through your mental and understanding why you want to learn how to sew, what motivates you to learn how to sew, the actual project is going to start with a sewing pattern, whether you create it on your own or you buy one from the store. Today we're talking about patterns that we buy from the store and how you can read the envelope so you can purchase them with confidence. Okay. I know when I started, I had no idea what I was doing. Okay. Again, I was in high school and I just dabbled when I was just getting my feet wet, and looking at the pattern envelope seemed like a foreign language. And if we're being really real right now, it still sometimes seems like a foreign language. Okay. You have this chart and you have grids and you have numbers, and what does it all really mean? Not even that. What do I need to pay attention to? Because you know how on some things, sometimes they give you extra information that you don't really need to pay attention to. How do you know what to take as the most valuable information to move forward with and what you can leave behind? There are details that we are specifically looking for to help us do that, but we're going to go over everything so you understand what you're looking for when you're looking at the pattern envelope, whether online or in person, because yes, you can buy them physically and you can buy them as PDF downloads. So we'll go over both of those. So why is it helpful for you to know how to read a sewing pattern? Honestly, so you know what to buy. I mean, point blank period. If you don't know how to read a pattern envelope, then you honestly don't know what you're buying or if what you're buying is right for you. And that can be a problem because no one wants to be out here wasting money, okay? Because you can waste money in sewing patterns. If the pattern isn't made for your body, if it's too difficult for you and all that, yada, yada, we'll cover that more. But if this sewing pattern is not right for you, and you don't cross your T's and dot your I's, then you're wasting money. And who wants to do that? So in today's video, I'm going to reference Know Me Pattern 2052. And this is because I'm already working on a project with it. If you haven't been following along on Instagram or TikTok, I am currently in the middle of a Met Gala look that I was supposed to finish for a Met Gala that didn't get finished, but I'm still working on it. So we'll get finished. But this is the pattern that I have opened now and at the ready so I can go over it with you. So the first thing that's really important on the sewing pattern envelope is the name or model of the pattern, okay? So this one is listed as Me, on the envelope, it's listed as Me 2052, and it is right here on the side envelope, Me 2052. Now this is just how you can identify the pattern and what it is. Each sewing pattern, all the contents inside of it, goes under one number, one style number, one pattern number, okay? So anything in this envelope is associated with Me 2052. That means this button up and these pants, these patterns come inside, is all associated with Me 2052. If I Google this number, this whole pattern is gonna come up, okay? That goes with any kind. So that's something you definitely wanna reference, because if you need to buy another one, or if you're looking for it, or if somebody else sewed something, or if somebody else sewed something and they called out a number, that is the best way to find it. Each sewing brand has their own number for their own styles. McCall's starts with MC, I think. Simplicity probably starts with an S. Vogue probably starts with a V. So each one of them, each brand has their own separate name and number. Now for indie patterns, they kind of name the actual style. So you might have one named Bianca. You might have one named Laura. I only say Laura because I have the Laura pattern skirt from Daria Patterns. So whatever the name is, whether it's a number code or the actual name, those will help you find the pattern in the future, or find the recommendation that was recommended for somebody else. The next part of the sewing envelope is the picture. The picture is going to give you a very good idea of what the style is going to look like at the end. Sometimes there's pictures, a lot of times now there's pictures. Sometimes there are illustrations, fashion illustrations, like drawings. So you want to look at that. So you want to look at that as a reference. Depending on your body, you don't want to look at it as the exact thing, because if I'm a slender body and there's somebody who has more curves on here. The pattern or the actual sewn project is going to look different on my body. And that's the case with anything. Like if you're buying something online and you see it, a picture of the model wearing it and she's slender and I got more curves than her, that dress or that item is going to fit her differently than it fits me. And that's perfectly fine. That's just something you have to keep in your mental, okay? So also good to know like what styles work for you, what style lines work for you, whether it's a scoop neck, whether it's a V-neck, whether it's a high neck, whether it's sleeves, long sleeves, volume, and all that. Knowing those details that work for your body will help you understand if this style will work for you, okay? So again, picture or illustration is a big part of the pattern envelope. Next, we're gonna look at the views. On most patterns, there are views or options, okay? Now, what this is, it is a slight variation from each other. So if you have a long sleeve tee as your main image, your view B, your view A is a long sleeve turtleneck, we'll say. View B might be a short sleeve turtleneck or a short sleeve dress, bodycon dress type thing. So it's just some slight variation of the original, whether it's lengthening something, shortening something, adding a trim detail that's different from the original, something like that. So it's kind of, in my head, it's kind of a cheat code because you can get like 5 patterns in one or 5 styles in one versus this one is one top, one bottom. And that's perfectly okay. Each pattern has its own purpose, okay? So this one has view A, which is the button up, and view B, which is the pants, okay? Now, if this were like, say, just a pants pattern, view for the pants, you might get a short as a view A, a capri as a view B, and full length pants as a view C. So something like that. And each of those patterns or the pieces that you need will be in the pattern envelope for you to execute those different views. The size is very important because you have to know what size to buy yourself. So right now, this is just a reference. So in this pattern, it comes in 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. You want that information for what you're going to look at on the back, okay? And I think that is the main part of the front of the envelope that we want to pay attention to. Yep, I think so. Sometimes the difficulty will be listed, like if it's intermediate, beginner, advanced, something like that. You kind of want to take it as a suggestion, but don't let it limit you, okay? It's just, if you don't think you have the greatest amount of skills, maybe you don't want to try an advanced. Or if you're looking for a challenge, maybe you do try an advanced. So it's just something to keep in mind. They're trying to help you gauge if this pattern is something that you can do and can finish or do with confidence, because you can do anything you put your mind to, okay? Okay, now for the back of the pattern, which is all the meat and information, all the stuff that gets you really confused and discombobulated, all right? So first things first, I noticed that they put the level of difficulty on the back. So this one is average. I don't know the spectrum, but this one is average. So if you're feeling kind of comfortable with sewing, this might be something for you, okay? There are 2 languages, English and this one is Spanish. So they give you options on how to read it. Now, the first thing I'm going to say, nope, we're just going to go down. We're not going to make this complicated. The first part is it gives the style number. So this is me 2052. And then it says what the style is. So this is a Mrs. Shirts and Pants. Did that not come up on the front? They don't say that on the front. Okay, so on the back, it says what the actual style is on the inside or what the patterns are for. Now, the first little section is suggested fabrics, and it is separated based on style. So remember when view A is talking about the shirt, view B is talking about the pants. So here it suggests for both the pants and the shirt, you can use cotton blends or linen blends. Now it breaks it down to A also. You can use batiste chambray, cotton lawn. Nope, not cotton lawn. I made that up. Cotton lawn, gauze, gingham, and poplin. And then in B, you can use chino, denim, micro suede, and stretch wovens and twill. Now, the reason why they separate that is because where you can use denim for one, you probably wouldn't want it as the other, okay? So it's just like, hey, this style can both do this. That is actually probably a nice set, honestly. If you do a linen blend and this button up in pants, maybe. Keep that tucked away. But we're chambray one. Sorry. Okay. So A and B, you can use the same fabrics for some fabrics, okay? And then it breaks down, like if you want heavier weight for the pants, you don't want that as a top, okay? So it's like you can use this also for this style, or this also for that style. Don't cross mingle them. And then it suggests lining B, because the lining will be for the pockets. So you need cotton blends, polyester blends, and then interfacing, which is the stabilizer. So the first section is suggested fabrics. Do you have to stick to this? Am I supposed to be talking about this in this video? I don't know. I am. Do you have to stick to this? Absolutely not. It's just giving you suggestions on where to start, okay? If you feel comfortable using a different fabric, by all means, go ahead. But these are like the safest ones to try first, okay? Next section, it goes into notions. Notions are trim or little extra accessories or details, functioning things, trim, I don't know, that you need to complete the garment. So I'm talking zippers, buttons. What do we have here? This one says 12 half-inch buttons, 1 7-inch zipper, studs or rivets, or 1 5/8 buttons. So it tells you, I sound so intelligent. It tells you the specific items that you need to complete your pattern, okay? So being more specific, for the button up, you would need 12 half-inch buttons. For the pants, you would need 1 7-inch zipper, 6 studs or rivets, that is optional, and 1 5/8 button, okay? So this is if you're at your store, this is your shopping list. You get your fabric and you get your notions. Don't leave there without it. Oh, but now I don't have a shopping store. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Haven't crossed that bridge yet. Okay, next, very important. This is what you want to lock into, are the sizes. You want to lock in, but not lock in too much, and I'll tell you why a little bit after this, okay? So in sizes, which is right here, sizes. Remember, if you watched the last video in the series in mistakes to avoid when buying sewing patterns, these sizes listed here are not the same as sizes listed at retail, okay? What this says here, size 8, is not the same size 8 that you're going to get on the shelf, okay? These patterns have their own sizing standard, okay? So don't get that mixed up. So like I mentioned on the front, sizes here are 8, 10, 12, 15, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. And they give the European sizing also. Not going to get into that because I don't know. Under that, it gives body measurements, a section for body measurements, okay? And technically, you're supposed to choose the size of your pattern based on body measurements, but you want to look at this to see just about where you're going to cut your pattern that's on the inside out, okay? So before we go in, I'm not reading all these numbers, but before I do that, you also need to know your body measurements, okay? So they'll usually give bust, waist, and hip. You'll definitely want to know what those are, okay? So you know what? I won't talk about it now. But if you want to see a video on how to measure your body, leave it in the comments and write measure, and I will definitely cover that later. This video is going to be too long of me rambling, and I want to make sure we stick to the patterns, okay? I'm going to go to my column because this is what I'm cutting out. So if I know my measurements, I do know them, but they've changed a little bit. My measurements are about like 41, 36, 41-ish. I don't think I'm 36 anymore. I think 41, probably about 39, 41. We're real blockish over here, okay? I have no waist. I'm a real block. So something around there. And those are the measurements I'm paying attention to as I'm examining this measure section. So if I say my bust is about 41, that puts me in between an 18 and a 20. Locking that in. If my waist is about 36, that's going to put me in between a 20 and a 22. See how those sizes are different from the bust to waist? And if my hips are about a 41, that's going to put me between a 16 and an 18. So you see how that like jumps all the way around? We're just using this as a suggestion, as an idea. Now, depending on your garment, that is how you're going to choose which measurement to focus on. This is an oversized shirt. So all I really need to make sure is that it goes over my boobs, right? I don't need anything tight on my waist. So as long as it looks good up here, that's the size I'm going for, okay? Now, if it's we'll say a body conscious thing, I am paying attention to my waist measurement because I want to make sure it fits over my waist first, okay? If it's pants, I want to make sure it can go over my hips. Once you know that part, you can adjust the pattern afterwards. We will get into pattern adjustments and doing it for your body a little bit later on in the series, but I want you to know that you don't have to feel like your body has to fit within these numbers, because it's likely not. Again, sewing patterns use their own standard of sizing, so we're just using this as a reference. So right now, my reference, I'm in between, what, a 16 and a 22? Thanks, guys. I'll let you know your size or possibly the range of size that you're going to get. The next section is yardage. It tells you how much yardage of fabric you're going to need. So you get how much or how big your body is, and then how much fabric you need to get to cover your big back. Just kidding. That's just me talking to myself. Let's talk positively about myself. Just kidding. So once you understand your size range, then you go on to the fabric yardage, and that'll tell you how much fabric you need based on the size that you are probably going to cut out, okay? So for me, for shirt A, it also breaks down the fabric yardage by the width of the fabric, the width of your fabric, right? So it's usually either 45, 55, or 60. 45 inches, 55 inches, or 60 inches. And that is just honestly how wide the fabric is when you lay it out off the bolt. So for me, for shirt A, I cut out a size 20. And for that, I need 3 3/8 inch of fabric. 3 3/8 feet. No, I need 3 3/8 yards of fabric. Come on now, I can do this. All right, so for me, I cut out a size 20, and that means for the shirt, for 45 inches of fabric, I would need 3 3/8 of a yard. And if I'm using 60 inches of fabric, I would need 2 3/8 of a yard, okay? So that is just a helpful, I'm going to say, again, suggestion. I shouldn't be saying this, but depending on how you lay your patterns out, you can possibly use less fabric, but I wouldn't risk it. You always at least get at least the amount of fabric that they say here. I would get probably a little extra, like 25% extra, just in case an accident happens or something goes awry. Especially if you have a pattern fabric that you're trying to match, like a plaid, stripe, polka dot, paisley, random abstract print, okay? Well, not that random, because that'd be really hard to match. But if there's anything printed, you definitely want to get extra fabric, okay? Next section is the finished garment measurement. And it also says, includes design and wearing ease. So what that means, did I say what that means on everything else? Anyways, so what that means is this is the measurement of the garment when it's finished. I literally just repeated the name. So when your garment is finished, it may not be the exact measurement that we used for body measurements, okay? So your body measurements are one thing, and then the garment is another, all right? So this t-shirt, even, it's not a slim fit t-shirt. There's a little ease in it. And ease is like that extra room you get in your garment, in your clothes. And this is what the finished garment measurement accounts for, okay? So for mine, if I cut a size 20 out of my pattern, my finished bust for this pattern is going to be 59 inches, all right? So there's going to be 59 inches of ease. Let me see if I can get a tape measure. Because right now, so 59 inches, this is really big, okay? So, maybe not that. So this, very hard to show. But this is how much room I will have in this oversized shirt, okay? So it's very oversized. All this open space is going to be the circumference or all the room I would have in my shirt, all the ease, okay? Hopefully you can see that. Hopefully it makes sense. But that is what you're looking for at the end. Now, if I wanted it closer to my body, I would definitely size down, okay? If I didn't want that much ease, I wouldn't cut out a 20. I would see what maybe a 14 can do. And that is like also paying attention to the other measurements, because if I go down a size, I also go down a size in sleeves and all that. So you want to pay attention if you're going down. So it's something definitely to pay attention to. If you want something tight, you're going to go down a size. If you want something extra loose, you're going to go up a size. And that's why I say you want to pay attention to the finished garment measurement, because it is based on your personal preference, not based on what the pattern maker or designer is giving you. These are your clothes. You do what you want. You do what makes you comfortable, okay? The next part of the envelope that you should look at are the CADs or the flats, okay? These are the outline line drawings of the garment. These are going to tell you the details and the style lines of what you're about to sew. So here, The button up has the front, the back, the pants have the front, the back. This is just another visual representation of the front, whether it's an illustration or a picture. It is simplifying the visual, okay? So in photos, they're stylized, they're tucked in, they're tightened, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. This illustration or CAD or flat is what you're going to get in the pattern, is what you're putting together. So you want to look at this, see if you like any of the style lines. If you don't get it. Like say there's a princess seam where you don't like it, or there's a dart where you don't like it. This is going to tell you because it's easier to see than what the picture might show. So definitely take a look at this, whether it has views A, B, C, D, E, or F, you'll take a look at it here. Now, once you understand each section and what each section is for, it definitely takes away the overwhelm. But does it cure it? Not really. Again, in this 20 years, and I still get confused sometimes. You just have to take your time and pay attention to the details. Take your time and pay attention to the numbers. I sometimes write notes on the outside or take out my tape measure like you saw me do earlier to make sure that I'm making the right decision before I make the purchase. Thank you for watching this video. If you finally think that you can read sewing patterns with confidence, go on and comment win. That was really cringe. Go ahead and comment win in the comments section so I know this video actually helped you out. If you still have questions or a little confused, you can also drop a comment, ask your question, and I'll get back to you for sure, okay? And make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to learn more about patterns. Next week, the series continues with measurements, how to measure your body and the measurements that you need to know in order to buy a sewing pattern with more confidence, okay? So if that's something you're interested in, again, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, guys, keep designing your best life. Bye.